episode 7 of our legendary Empire campaign with Volkmar the Grim. Last episode we took Marienburg, we made peace with them, we used a lot of that money that we earned looting and through diplomacy with accepting the peace treaty to reinvest into Reichland, and we're ready to continue conquering. So we've just sacked Grungzent, and let's see, what do we have to move? This guy can move.
Into battle.
Yeah, we're gonna take this.
A sound plan.
Looks like we did some of this last episode. It just had to do with when the save actually occurred. It occurred when we sacked Grungzent, and then I hung up. So we're back at it today with episode 7. These guys are very, very weak. I'm not sure what they'll do. They might try to attack this in vain. Either way, I'm not going to raise their settlement. It's good for looting. It's good for experience. That's fine. So I want to start working on his quests. So if we take a look at his quests again, they both have 2 very important abilities. This gives +5 rank for warrior priests. This gives +5 public order for all provinces. Other benefits are nice, but not terribly interesting. So let's see what we can do to start on those quests. So the Jade Griffin, I need to use a hero to perform an action against a settlement belonging to the following race undead. Okay, so I can do that against Mosalon. It's probably the closest. And then there's also the Staff of Command. Deploy 3 heroes in 3 provinces owned by the following race, Empire provinces. Okay, I'm not sure. I think this means 3 different heroes in 3 different provinces. It says current total 1 of 1. I'm not sure if that means I've satisfied this. Anyway, we'll just wait till next turn to see if we need to do anything special for that. Okay, so we also want to go to war with Marienburg. We'll do that. Start doing that next turn. We are already at war with them, but there's been very little hostilities between the 2 of us. It looks like we are their only significant opponent right now, so we should probably expect a stack coming from us from this way within a turn or 2. So with that, let's end the turn. Okay, there is a vampire in our province. Who are these guys? Well, these guys declared war on us ages ago. Okay, so Grunberg is defended. Altdorf is defended. These guys probably just full of shit. I mean, look how many dire wolves there are. Okay, so this quest required to use a hero to perform an action against a settlement belonging to the undead. So it has to be against a settlement. Mosalon is going to be the closest settlement, so I'm going to actually send one of these warrior priests. Shoot. No, actually, I want to get the Staff of Command. So I have to deploy 3 heroes in 3 provinces owned by the Empire. So I'm going to deploy 1 here in Marienburg for a turn. Next turn he'll continue on to Musalon to do something. And I'm going to deploy the other one here. In this province. And hopefully that, there we go, current total 3 of 3, so I believe that should do it. We just have to wait for it to update. Okay. So let's see, what do we want to get him? Could get Lightning Strike. Don't really need Lightning Strike yet. There's not that many. You know, I'm already thinking I might like to get this because that will mean that I will have the ability to put the Warrior Priests, because I only have 2 right now, into other armies, and still get a significant amount of replenishment for this army. He's only at level 15. I'm not interested in investing in here. Also not really interested in investing too much more in here, which means we actually will have plenty. We only have 1, 2, 3, and probably maybe Sigmar's Ward 4 that we want to get. 5 here, so that's level 20. 3 in here is 23. After getting 3 in here and 1 in here, Headhunter probably makes sense. So that'd be like 24. So there's still about 6 skill points total that we'll have to spend on him eventually. We might eventually upgrade his melee defense and hit points just to make him a bit harder to kill, but he's not really that great in melee. So as you can see, his armor is just so low. And this only gives him plus 15 armor. But anyway, for this one, we'll go ahead and get Lightning Strike. It's the most tactically interesting of the available options. You also want to make sure that he can't level Helmgart. So we'll not be able to attack that next turn. Helmgart does have a garrison. It will have a stronger garrison once we upgrade this. We want to be able to upgrade that next turn. So I think I might want to upgrade this. It is extra income of 200 per turn. However, if we do that, we'll only have about 400, 2,000 next turn to build this. Just cutting it a little too close. I need to be able to get the walls in Helmgart next turn. So I'm not actually going to build anything. Instead, I think I'll use him. Okay, so he's in force march. He shouldn't be able to attack them next turn. However, this army needs some more swordsmen. At least 2. If we get 4, then that will solidify this army. Make 6 melee. I think I'd rather have 6 of these, and then 2 swordsmen on the flank. And then we have 7 crossbows in the rear, 1 cannon, and 1 cavalry. very tactically useful army. Okay. Alright, we're actually making money. This is really amazing.
It is time.
Okay, I want to see if I can finish these guys off. They're slowly rebuilding some of their forces.
To the provinces.
And I'd really like to finish them off. So we have these two warrior priests. We'll probably send one of them into this guy's army to take them on next turn. Hopefully finish them off. I don't want their army running around, sieging things up, etc.
My knowledge is yours.
Alright. And this guy will take out the vampires and possibly go and take Nuln. Oh, what happened here? Oh, so vampires took that. Interesting.
Greetings on behalf of the Empire. Now what?
Okay. Let's just see if we can do anything diplomatically interesting. Bretonia, I have no beef with you. Not yet, at least. Artosis, I might go and take you. Okay, everyone's mad at me. We only have a -10 to great power. I'm not sure why everyone's mad at me. We're trustworthy. Seems decent.
Hail to your emperor.
Bow before the rightful.
Surely an agreement will be reached.
I think I'm going
But are we not all sons
to
of
get rid of
Sigmar?
this non-aggression pact. With Wiesenland, because we might want to take that province. It has a special building there that upgrades artillery. However, I don't think it's actually very useful. It's really expensive, and I think you'd have to have a tremendous amount of artillery to actually make it an economically viable investment. So that's the end of that turn. I want to build walls in Helmgart as soon as possible. There we go. There's that army I was thinking of. There we go. There's Midland's army. It will probably be interested in taking Karaberg next turn. There we go. Ensure that the following build has been constructed. Temple of Sigmar. Alright, we got it done. The Countess denies us. Alright, whatever. Okay, we should have this. Ensure that the following building has been constructed. Temple of Sigmar. Should be right here, right? Shrine of Sigmar. Oh, Temple of Sigmar. Okay, I need to get this thing built in Altdorf. Okay, that will take a long time to do correctly.
I am Volkmar.
So that is quite obnoxious. Alright.
What do you require?
So I could send this hero west towards Musalon. However, it might make more sense to go perform an action against this undead city here. It's more in line with the direction I want to expand. And if I don't move that hero, then and that I don't want to move the hero in a place where I won't need them for other things. Moving him here, he'll be more useful in armies. Just have to take this. And we're back. Okay, so we have two armies to deal with. This junk army that's in the middle of our province, and this army which is threatening Karaberg. Now, I think what I want to do is I want to set up a trap where they'll take Karaberg. That's fine. Doesn't really matter. Just nothing invested in there. There's 800 gold invested in building this up. Well, there's also the 2,000 to build it up to colonize it.
Defender of the faith. Yes, my lord.
So I'm going to put this guy here.
By the comet.
They are raiding. They can't do much against Grunberg or Altdorf.
Who calls? Agree.
I want to set these guys up so that they are going to be hidden from the enemy.
Volkmar the Grim. Sigmar has heard my
So
prayer.
he's in ambush now, so he'll be hidden from the AI.
Not likely.
So I'm hoping that the AI will see that Karaberg is undefended and they can take it without retaliation. Now that's not true. I'll absolutely smash their army, and I'm certain if they attempt to, if they take Karaberg. So Karaberg is a trap for this army. If they do that, we can take Karaberg back next turn, destroy their army, march on Weisman, march on Mindenham. That's kind of my plan for dealing with them right now. In other news, these guys are I don't have a good way of dealing with them yet. So we're just gonna wait. We'll have this guy probably give these units to him. Well, this is interesting. The dwarfs are at war with Baston. Alright. So we might want to take this off Baston because it looks like they are losing that war.
I hear you.
So, and we might be able to make friends with these dwarfs by going to war with them. So, in anticipation of doing that, I'm actually going to recruit a few units here. Okay, so this guy has 4 of these. Get 3 of these and 2 swordsman units. Then these 3 and those 4 will make a decent half-stack army. It'll have 2 flanking units, 1 on each side, 3 crossbows, and 4 free militia for the front line. Okay.
Let us forge our faith.
I'm torn if I want to leave this warrior priest in Marienburg. He's providing a lot of growth. We need to get this up to level 2 before we can build that, and then we can upgrade this, and we can also give it a defensive building, which will allow Marienburg to single-handedly defend from Bretonia and the Norska factions, which will likely be invading here within 10 turns or so. Okay, so hopefully these guys will take the bait, take Karaberg, and then I'll be able to smash them with this fantastic army here.
There is power within prayer. The righteous hammer of Sigmar.
Okay.
What do you require?
So we don't need this guy in Karaberg.
Yes.
Let's
son of
move him
Sigmar.
south.
A weak order.
Okay, next turn, Helmgart, we're going to want to upgrade this. That'll cost 2,100. We'll have about 1,500 left after that. That will not be sufficient to upgrade that. However, what we can also build in Helmgart is we can start moving the rally field to Helmgart We can then demolish this, get another Shrine of Sigmar, which will then be able to upgrade to a Temple of Sigmar, and then we'll be that much closer to our quest. And we'll be able to get another Warrior Priest.
Praise Sigmar.
Okay. So these guys, this is safe. It's got walls. These guys are recovering. I don't think they can recruit any units. Let's see, Grungzint has a muster fields, so these guys might be able to globally recruit. Well, we'll have to deal with them later. They shouldn't be able to attack Elhart. Next turn, Elhart should be able to get the guard house. So that might be what we want to do too. Alright.
Now,
Well, that's it for this turn. Perfect. Okay, so can I do any damage to this army? These are all melee. They'll just get into melee with some of the swords. They won't be able to catch these guys. These guys will do some kiting. So there's no significant damage I can do to this army, so I'm just going to auto-resolve. Hopefully they will take back their settlement. It is, after all, in their province, so they should want it. There we go. Alright, they're dead. You guys are going to get absolutely demolished. We have artillery, range. I believe we have cavalry cavalry advantage as well. Okay. And you can see there's no event here saying that this army was discovered.
instrument of Sigmar's will. I see Sigmar.
There we go. This is what we wanted.
Cleanse the
Oh, look at that. Yeah, I'm just going to auto-resolve this. Took hardly any damage. I'm not sure I could have done significantly better with manually resolving that battle. So we're just going to 28% unit replenishment. Can't say no to that.
Sigmar has shown
And there we go. There goes Mindenheim's army. We should be able to march on Wiesenmann and Mittelheim next turn. So that leaves this army to deal with. Okay, these guys are absolutely garbage. Wow. Okay, so we're going to see if we can't take advantage of the Warrior Priest replenishment rate.
Praise Sigmar. Who calls?
Come on, I want to select this army. There we go.
Yes. To battle.
I want to give this guy these units.
Moving off.
We want
Now.
this guy to
A time to heal.
embed these troops.
It is
Now
time
let's just see what our
to war.
chances are versus this. There we go. We took a lot of damage, but that's okay. That's what he's for. We can take this, get minus replenishment rate, and it's not a big deal. I should have had this guy join the fight.
What does the Emperor bid?
Okay, I think we want to attack them again. However, We're gonna do it manually so that our warrior priest
By the comet.
doesn't kick the bucket. Because he's got very low hit points now. Okay, I'm gonna give this guy a war horse because we want him to get a bard war horse, so that then he'll have a significant amount of armor. You can see with bard war horse, he'll have 60 armor. And then that with this and some extra melee defense, he'll be much tougher.
What? Onwards.
Get this guy in range.
On march. We march.
Take the warrior priest.
Let us move. Sigma compels us.
There we go, and we'll just finish off this army.
Fight for our nation.
I do have to, I can't auto-resolve it because I don't want this guy to take any more damage and risk being killed. That being said, it's an incredibly weak army. Only going to use the 3 crossbow units and these 3 free militia. Not that one because it's significantly hurt. Okay. Just run these guys forward. Let's take a look at our little warrior priest. So why not? Poor guy only has 100 hit points. Okay, these guys can halt, and they will all start shooting. And these guys have no chance. Just gonna ×3 speed all this. And that's it. Surprised they've managed to stick around this long. There we go. Alright, those guys are done. So do not do in your campaigns what this guy does. Recruit a terrible, trashy stack, and then march halfway across the world to raid someone's region for 2 turns and get about 400 gold. It's not economical.
Step to it. What?
Okay, so now,
All right. On march.
oh, whoops. Just want this warrior priest back.
I will marshal the men.
This guy can take that and then just disband. We really don't need him.
Moving off.
Okay, let's get Honest Steel because it's fantastic. Okay, it looks like these guys are maybe planning to burrow underground to get back to Grenzent.
There is power within prayer.
Could demoralize or assassinate. Not very interesting. Options. I think I'm going to keep having this guy provide growth. He'll provide growth in 3 turns to Marienburg. And
Volkmar the Grim.
okay, so now that we've crushed the Mindenheim's army, we can start investing in Karaberg. So let's get this so we can get growth going.
Call from the heavens. Sigmar, grant me strength.
Okay. And Helmgart, we can get... Oh, we don't have the 10% off. Alright, that's fine. We'll just get it next turn. This guy's just not quite in the region of Helmgart. I think he has to cross this bridge here. And then he'll provide an additional 10% to all the buildings in here. And we probably also want to hold off on investing in Eilhart so that we can bring him in here, invest here, bring him up here, and invest in Eilhart. And have all of the major buildings discounted by 30%. And that might seem really stingy, really cheap, but it really does add up. We would not have nearly this much money if we weren't being really careful with when we purchase buildings and how we move our agents to take advantage of the construction cost reduction. Okay, so that's all I want to do for this turn. I doubt there's anything we can do in diplomacy.
It's late in the day.
No. Alright. Next turn. Oh, we have a rebellion in Altdorf. That's fine.
Bow before your emperor.
I bet this guy wants peace now that we smashed his army. No, thank you.
The Celestial College implores that I hear you. I remain unconvinced.
This guy wants peace and they want to demand money for it. No, you can pay me for peace maybe because I don't really want your property, but I'm not going to give you money.
Approach me.
For this guy,
Beasts.
I'll accept that. I have no interest in going over here. 900 is significant. Let's see if we can... it already says moderate. If it said high, I'd ask for more money, but that's fine. Alright. So we need to send this guy over here to perform an action against the city. So we're gonna move him out
Step to it.
and send him right here
Pick up the pace.
and deploy for a turn just to get a few extra growth points into Reichland. You can see our growth. We're getting 50 from characters present. That's from this guy.
What do you require? Praise Sigmar.
Okay, so right now you can see that this building costs 2,400. Once I move him across the bridge, I think it'll cost 2,100.
Onwards. Yes, my lord.
Oh, looks like he has to get even closer.
Onwards.
There we go, 2,100. And we want to upgrade this to the level 2. And now we can finally get rid of this in Altdorf. And 30% is the best we're ever going to get on a discount here. So now you can see the change in income for this upgrade is 125, and it costs 1,750. So that means that this is about a 13 turn investment, which is pretty good. Now, including 4 turns of construction, it's more like a 17 turn investment. Still, it's it should be worth it because we now have a way to defend this settlement. So then we want to move to Elhart.
To battle. Now,
And now we can invest more in Elhart as well. So we can also get the guardhouse in Elhart. I don't think it's actually necessary because the vampires were crushed here. There's no enemies over here that are significant. I was right, this guy tunneled underground. Might be able to go smash them with this army. Forgot to plug in my laptop. Okay, sorry about that. Forgot to plug in my laptop and it was running low on battery. But we're all set now. So I don't think the investment into defense in Elhart is necessary right now because there's no enemies nearby. Instead, investment in economy should be better. And I could invest in building this just for the extra 20% growth. It's only 350, and when you destroy it, you get almost all of that back. So it's kind of like a free building, but only if you keep it at level 1. Oh, that's fantastic. These guys can attack Wesenmund this turn. Let's go ahead and do that.
fear my righteous fury.
Indeed, fear my righteous fury. Okay, we have a huge advantage over this army. I'm gonna fight this manually, just because I want to fight a battle manually with this army. We could auto resolve. That'd be a fine option too. Don't really want to auto resolve all the time. My objective isn't entirely to do the campaign as well as possible. I still want to actually have some fun. So let's sit pretty on top of this hill, shoot them with cannons. This Reichsguard unit has Vanguard deployment? Wow. That's pretty cool. Alright. This poor army we're going up against, we have so much ranged. Okay, and then 2 sword units on their flank. And Volkmar here. So Volkmar has 22% damage resistance for allies in range, and also 34 melee attack for allies in range. So he's actually pretty good in melee when he's surrounded by a blob, when he's like in the thickest blob of our units and their units in melee. So then we can pop down damage resistance and melee attack and get a huge advantage over our opponents. Alright, so it looks like these guys are okay, they may force us to actually to get off our hill because might not be able to kite that far. Let's see, these have 37 speed, 4 more than them. It's a little over 10% faster. Alright, yeah, we're gonna We have to get our army in position. I'm gonna hide these guys over here. As soon as this cannon is in range, it should force them to attack us. Okay, we're almost in range. Don't really want to waste ammo on... There we go, there's some swordsmen. Move these Reichsguard front. You need to get your ass over here. Let's have these guys go wide because they're going to be most likely encountering pistoliers. Oh, we want everyone on guard mode. Let's see, who's vulnerable? Those crossbowmen might be vulnerable soon. Wow, what kind of formation are these guys doing? Look at how spread out all their swordsmen are. It's ridiculous. Alright, that's one pistolier down. Okay, they are, I don't even have words for how terrible their army formation is coming into this. Just look at it. There's units everywhere. They're spread out. They're sending in single units at a time. There we go. This crossbowman is vulnerable to the Reichsguard, so we'll do that. Now these guys got annihilated. Let's go ahead and throw down our buffs, and we'll move over there because these guys are pretty much done already. Okay, the Reichsguard have smashed that unit. And then we're gonna charge them into this blob. Alright. Come on, don't go through there. Go through here. There we go. Hey, these guys are fighting halberdiers. That's somewhat concerning. So I'm gonna have these guys try to get over here and kill the halberdiers. Okay, that's fine. There we go. Charge the halberdiers. There we go. There we go. They are hopefully broken. Alright, this went great. Very easy battle. Where's their lord? Here he is. And we don't have to run all these guys down because they are in a settlement. Alright, looks like everyone's about to break. There we go. Victory. Just let our ranged units get a few more kills. Alright. That was pretty good. We took a significant amount of damage on these guys. And these guys. You might want to try to get a warrior priest into this army. We'll see. Some loot. Here we go. Loot and occupy. For 3,000.
Sigmar be praised. Volkmar the Grim.
I think I will get this. Because he is also a warrior priest, and the great thing about the warrior priest is casualty replenishment rate. So it makes sense. Here we go. Wiesenmund already has the timber mill and this money building, so we are looking real good to get Mindenheim. Alright, so we've gotten some more money. That means we can continue investing in Eilhart. Great.
Call from the heavens.
Alright, this guy's gained some experience. Want to get him the Bard Warhorse too. Marienburg's going to have population surplus in 2 turns now. Get that population surplus. Getting this will be 3,200. However, if we knock that down by a third, it'll be about 2,100.
The Empire.
Alright.
Ready.
Alright, so next turn we want to send him here to build 30% reduced cost buildings here. We'll probably want to get a Temple of Sigmar. We'll see if we can't... we might need to de-invest in here in order to be able to invest in Altdorf and Marienburg. We're going to want to invest in Altdorf next turn, and Marienburg in 2 turns.
What is your wish? The comet comes.
Alright, that's it for this turn. Let's advance. We'll also have this army deal with the rebellion in Altdorf. Minus 20 with Ostermark. Whatever.
Ready. Yes, a sound plan.
Okay, doesn't look like he can get there without force marching. We'll see. Maybe if I go into Karaberg and then into Altdorf.
On march.
Nope. I need to actually get him into Altdorf.
Onwards.
So now Altdorf, we can get another Shrine of Sigmar, and we'll be able to upgrade that to a Temple of Sigmar eventually. This will also give us +2 rank for Warrior Priest, bringing them to a starting level of 10. And building this will allow us to get 1 additional Warrior Priest. Alright. So we have that building.
The instrument of Sigmar's will. Following Sigmar's path.
Okay, so Mindenheim is looking real good to take. They have a little garrison. It's only a level 2 city, so when we take it, it'll be a level 1, unfortunately. However, with our warrior priests and this building here, we'll be able to pump a lot of growth into this province. Okay, so next turn I want to deploy this guy in Marienburg. So that means I have to unemploy him this turn and move him over there.
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to get this because next turn I'm going to want to upgrade Marienburg to level 3. And we want to make sure that we have plenty of money. However, next turn I should be able to loot and occupy Mindenheim. It should give us a significant amount of money and end our war in the north. Until we have a new war in the north. Now this is great, we have a lot of things under construction here, a lot of investment going down into Reichland. This will take quite a few turns to really pay off, but eventually it'll be really solid. After we build this, we'll be able to get 3 warrior priests, at which point I might get rid of this because we just don't really need it there anymore. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. It is time.
Okay, well we can't do all that much this turn. Everything's looking pretty good. Helmgard is just 2 turns away from finally having walls. And Grunberg and Helmgard will have walls. Marienburg has walls. So we have walls on the periphery of our empire, which is really good. And we are advancing north towards Mindenheim. Should be able to take Mindenheim next turn, no problem. Alright. And we are getting state troops standards this next turn. +5 leadership. Not a big deal, but it's only 1 turn away, so it's definitely worth getting.
Bow before your emperor.
No, you do not get peace.
Your king sends brave men to approach me, this Hexenstadt.
Here we go. 800 for a peace treaty. That's more like what I'm talking about. You pay me for peace, not the other way around. Here we go. +15 growth, all provinces. Yeah. I always welcome migration. It's a good deal.
Sigmar
Alright.
is with us. By Sigmar.
Well, there's nothing terribly interesting here. It would be such a slaughter. It's so easy. Just auto-resolve. Could loot and occupy. Yeah, we wanna get a rebellion going so that this army has something to do next turn. Hopefully, yes, we should get a rebellion next turn with that. Stables. Don't care. Don't want it. Definitely do want. Now, before we start building too many buildings here, what I'd like to do is move this warrior priest in to get growth. And we want to deploy this guy to get the 20% off. So we're getting 20% off that building, so that's a good deal. We won't invest in here or here yet because we can get at least 20% off. Okay, so these guys should siege Altdorf next turn. This army plus the garrison will be more than a match for it. Now, I don't want to build this because we only have 10% off of it right now. However, it does unlock technologies we want, but so does the blacksmith. Plus 10 for Empire infantry units excluding greatswords. Magellans, units of spears, units of swords, pistoliers, and outrider units. Definitely this. We're probably never going to get greatswords. They're just not very cost effective. In the early game, you have to invest too much into upgrading your low tier units such that when you get to the late game and you can get great swords, you've already invested so much into the normal swordsmen and free company militia units that's just not worth it. Okay, so we want to keep this guy moving. Oh, we have a city right here. Let's see if we can damage the building. There we go, quest successful. Razor sack 2 different settlements belonging to the following race: Kislev. Oh. Why does it have to be against Kislev? We're trading with them. They're our friends. Oh, that's terrible. Alright, so let's take another look at the Jade Griffin and see if it's worth trying to go to war with Kislev. Kislev, I can't justify going to war with them. Even... Which one is it, though? The, Okay, that just gives extra recruitment rank for warrior priest. We can't get that now. Going to war with Kislev. They're far away. We're trading with them. They are. We just can't do that. At least not yet. We'll have to save that quest for probably late game. Okay, so now that we invested in Marienburg to get the 20% off,
Prophecy in the sky.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell this guy to move, and that actually de-employs him, even though I already deployed him this turn. But since I already bought the building, that 20% reduction is already there. So this means that next turn I can move him in here and deploy him. So that might be an exploit. I'm not really sure. But whatever. Don't care. It's the way the game works. We also might bring him into Reichland because next turn we'll be able to build this up and build this up and build this up. However, it might be that investing in this area will be more fruitful. The lower tier investments are the most fruitful ones, so it's more efficient to do them first and save the higher tier investments for later. Like you can see, the income difference between here compared to cost makes this like about a 20 turn investment, whereas building this, the cost makes it more like a 15 turn investment. And by 15 turn investment, I mean that's how many turns it takes to break even with how much money you're investing up front versus how long it takes you to earn that money back. That's what I mean. In case that is confusing. So Marienburg has some rebels. Fortunately, I also have a small garrison, so what I need to do to break that rebellion is... Okay, next turn, these guys should siege up Altdorf. We'll smash them. And then, hopefully, march on Marienburg to free them from the rebels. These guys will still need 2, maybe 3 turns to recruit a full stack. They don't attack until they have a full stack.
What is your wish?
See, what lords can we recruit? Emperor's Eye. Oh yes, we like this guy and this guy are very good. This guy should have honest steel, so he should be really good. Why do I have to pay so much to get him back? See, this guy we don't have. He doesn't have any recruitment costs. Maybe because he died in battle. I can't remember what happened to him. But anyway, at Eilhart, we're going to... I think we'll just recruit this guy. It's more economical. And we'll get... just some cheap melee units to put down this rebellion. And with this guy here, we'll be able to keep this guy in forced march for 2 turns, and we should be able to smash that rebellion, no problem. Alright. So I think we're ready to go to the next turn. This guy hasn't moved. Don't want him to move this turn. Our warrior priest has moved. This guy needs an additional... There we go. Bard Warhorse.
Yes, the rights of war are ready. I refuse.
So he'll be able to get here next turn and deploy. The righteous fury upon them.
Yes, my lord. The instrument of Sigmar's will.
Okay, I need to do something with this army. They'll be able to get 2 victories next turn, smashing the rebellion. However, oh, we're still at. They have one more. They have one more settlement here. We might want to take this province, Herrig and Grass Keep. That might be a good thing for them to do. All right.
I will marshal the men.
Well, we took Mindenheim, this province. They have one more settlement here. I might take this province next. We have 2 rebellions here and here to deal with, and a 3rd rebellion will show up in Mindenheim next turn. I think this is a good stopping point for this episode. Next will be episode 8, and we will continue expanding and getting stronger, investing, etc. I hope you join me then. See you next time.